Hello, hello. This is Connie Rose and Miss. I always call you Miss Wendy Brennan, but you're really Mrs. Wendy Brennan. But
That is true.
yes, this is Wendy Brennan. And today we are going to talk about tips and tricks around two of our features that work with groups. First, we're going to talk about multi-scan, and then we're going to talk about multi-cast. Now, the reason why we do this in this order is because now let's think about it for a minute. So, Wendy, if I was going to send you frequencies, do you think that your body and your whole biosphere would respond better after you've been optimized or before you've been optimized?
Seems like after I get optimized, I'd be more receptive.
Yes, absolutely. So that's why. So when you're doing this with a group, you want to make sure you do multi scan first. So let me share my screen. And again, I always talk about when we pick the screen, we always want to go to the option on Zoom that says share sound so you could hear it, so the clients can hear it. Okay. So I have my account pulled up. Now, before we could do any groups, you have to put your individual people in there by themselves so that you're going to pull from them. I'm going to show you that in a second. I'm not going to put the individual people in there. So that is covered in our basic training. It's very simple. You just go to create a new client. And so you put that in. Also, if you want to add spaces or objects to the client, like their home, their bank account, or pets that they have, that's right here where you do that also. Okay, so down here under our main client profile here, it says manage client groups. And this is where you create a group. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to create a test group. So if we're going to add something, guess what we're going to hit? The add button. I love they make it so simple. And I'm just going to call this test. And you can see there's a few icons here. This is to add a person. This is to save it when you're done, because if you don't save it, guess what? It's gone. Now, the group is empty. So if I hit save now, it's not going to save anything because there's nothing in it to save. And then if you want to go back and delete it, this is the delete button. So let's say I'll just use myself as an example because I have animals and spaces in my profile too. So I'm going to search me. There's me. So first I'm going to add me. Then I'm going to add my girls, my cats. And let me show you how you do that. So it pulls me up, but remember the animals and the objects and spaces are stored under your profile, right? The client profile. So over here in this drop-down menu, here's my pets, and then here's my spaces. So right now, I'm going to click on little Fluffy, and then I just hit OK. I'm going to go back. I'm going to pull Miss Sophie in here because I can't show favoritism. Tara passed away 2 years ago, so she's no longer. And then I'm also going to, excuse me, put in my bank account, because if you're not using the software to send abundance frequencies to your bank account, you are missing out. Okay, so there's my house. We'll just put the bank accounts. Okay, and then I'm going to put another person. I'll put in my roommate. Okay, so we have two people, two cats, in a space, right? So then I'm going to hit save, and now my group is saved. So then when I go to the main menu, here we are at multi-scan, and it's scan and optimize, not just scan. This is like such a time saver. I used to scan and optimize different clients and family and friends too, and it would take a long time, like a really long time. This is literally like minutes. It's so awesome. Okay, so find multi-scan. This is the group button. If you just want to do one person, you can just do one person here too. It's a quick way. So like if you just have like a family member that, is like came down with something and they're not part of your group normally, and you just want to, scan and optimize them to help them boost, their wellness, you can just do one at a time if you want. Or here's my little group. So select a client group. And I'm going to pull up my test group. Now you can see under Ben and Connie, You have step 1, vital scan and optimize, step 2, comprehensive scan and optimize for both of us. However, not yet. It's coming. Our cats, our pets are not currently supported. That will be coming. So I just have them in there because when the software, they're always updating the software all the time, right? So I figure whenever they do the update, it'll be ready to go. But I have them in my group because this is not just about multi-scan. We're also going to do multicast. So, okay, so it's very, very simple. So let me just tell you about the scan. So the vital scan, it is a full vital scan. Then it's a full optimization. Then the comprehensive part is it takes the things that did not yet get back into balance in the vitals and it says, okay, we're going to scan and optimize those areas. It's so smart. It knows, like if there's something going on in my, with whatever area, and it's like maybe it's a digestive situation, they're going to make sure that in the comprehensive scan, anything affiliated with my digestive system is going to be addressed. So it is a full vital scan and optimization, and then it is a customized comprehensive scan and optimize based on the results from the vitals. And literally, this is what you do. You just click this little heart, and off it goes. And literally, Mindy, it takes 10 minutes. Now, can you still hear me over the sound?
I can. It's not the best. It's not the best, but I can.
Okay, well, I'll stop it then. So you get the idea, right? You just let it run. And I think it takes like 3 minutes. Now, this is what I will also tell you. There is an email feature where you can email anybody in your group the results. Personally, and things I've heard from other leaders and health practitioners is we never, and I don't use that word a lot, never, but this is the case I will say, I never email the results because they don't have the software. They don't understand. They have not been trained on how to read the reports. For what purpose do they need to have the reports? They've been optimized. That's the beautiful gift of our software, right? Is the optimization. So it doesn't even matter that they know that it's been done. It's, kind of like, in my opinion, kind of like prayer. I'm going to send you some energy and they're going to get you all the goodness out of it. So I think it's great that they have that option there. And that is a button I personally will never use. So that is all the basics of MultiScan. So do you have any questions, Wendy, about MultiScan?
No, not yet.
Okay, great. So pretty simple, right? Okay, now we have this group and we're going to go into multicast. So that's under Cepheid because Cepheid is where we imprint or broadcast. And it's our last option down here, multicast. Same thing. It looks very familiar, doesn't it? Look like the same kind of buttons we had over in MultiScan.
Yeah.
So this is where we pull up our group. And once you do the work of putting the group together, you never have to do this again. Okay. So I'm going to pull up my test group. Now there's a few more things. Oh no, do you know what? These are people. Okay, let me do something else real quick. Let me do a new group because I want to actually show you how to put in those items. So let me just do a search. We'll do Aaron. And I'm going to add. So did you know that if you hit the search button, everybody you've ever scanned will show up? Isn't that great?
I did know that.
Yep. So I'm going to add Abel. And I'm going to add, who else we got? Alex. Okay. So those are going to be my test 2 group because I want to show you how it works when you set it up for the first time. I forgot the profiles I used already had that set up. So multicast, here's the group. Test 2. Okay. So you can see there's nothing here as far as a flower. This is delivered with the Bach and Bush flower remedies because those bush flowers and Bach flowers deal with the emotional body and the frequencies get into our energy body on the wave of the flower essence. That is what resonates best with us. So we click on flower and then click scan. And just like if I was working with Aaron in person, it would scan. If I was doing this in Cephy, there it shows his flower. Then I'm going to do Abel's. And then I'm going to do Alex's. If I don't do these, when I go hit play up here, it will not play. You have to have the flower chosen. Now with the affirmations, I like to do this on my computer so I can type in. And so the basic overall, like I'm going to call it my generic affirmation, is I say, I am perfect, whole, complete, loved, cherished, adored, and wealthy. Like, why not? Okay. I think that covers a lot of things. You could put whatever you want. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it for Abel. I'm going to paste it for Alex. Okay. So once I save this, this will come up every time I put them into the group. So I don't have to ever do that again. Then when it comes to selecting playlists, you could have up to 5 playlists. Now, when you have a group and they tell you what their goals are, I'm going to show you in another video how to use AI to create custom playlists for their goals that they're working on. So right now, we're going to just pretend that we've already done that. So I'm going to go to, now this is also just like we had to put in profiles in before we could create the group. You also need to have the Cephy playlist done before you can assign them. So that's a little bit of the pre-work also. So I'm going to say we're going to give him abundance and joy, and he has some pain. What's going on there? And how about this is Barbara's anti-anxiety, but I know he deals with anxiety too. So here I'm going to hit say. There's 4. What else do I want to give him? I will give him focus. He's a computer engineer. That would be good. Save as
Yeah.
default. But I would be choosing the ones based on his goals. I'm just doing this for an example. Okay. So it's 5 playlists linked. And so then I'm going to hit the save button. And then Abel, I'm just going to do the first 5 just as a save as default, save. Same thing with Alex. And save. Okay, so now these are all ready to go. Now, there's a couple ways we could do this. This right here gives us an option of 30 seconds, 2 minutes, or 5 minutes. If we click on this button, so I'm going to say 30 seconds. Typically, what I do is I do 2 minutes, and I set this up before I get in the shower. Then I go over my shower, and when I get out of the shower, then it's done. It's super easy. So when you click on this circle with the little arrows rotating around, it will take a turn. Like Aaron will be first, and then Abel, and then Alex, and then it'll be done. If I click on this large play button, all 3 of them will go at once. And for the whatever time I say. Does that make sense?
Yes, I have a question though. If you
Yep.
want to run it longer than 2 minutes, what do you do?
So the longest is 5 minutes if you go this way up here. However, if I wanted, so let's say, so what I do with my clients is overnight, I let it run overnight. So I'll put up the list like this, and I won't use these buttons here. If you click on the notes, the inner voice notes, and I turn the volume way down, and this will keep running until I hit stop.
Okay.
So you
Great.
can do it 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or you can click on like this. So what I also will tell you is in my family group, I will keep after I have scanned I do everybody one at a time, then I do everybody together, and then I go and find myself, and then I just have my frequencies running to myself all day. I'll not all day, but like for an extended period of time. And then I have my clients running all night. Any questions about any of that?
No.
Okay, great. Well, I think we're done with the video.
Great. A short
Short and
one.
sweet. Short and sweet. Hot
Well,
tip.
what I do want to say, if anybody new comes across this, like in our resources pages, um, as you see, there are a few things that you just know that you will be taught how to make a custom playlist. you'll be taught know how to make those sub accounts underneath yours. So it looks like there's a lot to do to set this up, but you will have that knowledge already because you'll be doing those things with that stuff kind of early in your training. I would say this is like a medium. They say like recipes. Is it,
Easy.
beginner, medium,
Yeah.
advanced cook, right? So this is
Right.
like a medium, but we're thrilled because we want to create a library of all the different ones so that when you're ready, you can go in and, but if none of this makes sense, well, I need to go back and learn how to make a custom playlist. I need to reach out to get help, or I can just figure it out through some videos. And then once this is created, though, maybe you just want to run it for a day or two, but it's here, right? It doesn't go anywhere. This group stays there. And if you wanted to run that every single night for a month, it's not recreating the wheel. That what you just showed us is the amount of time to create it, and then it's done.
Well, and let me show you. So let's say we're done with the day. Now it's the next day, and I go back in the multicast and I
Uh-huh.
pull them up, that test two group. Do you see how the playlists are there and the affirmations there? All I have to do from this point on is do the flower.
Yeah, because the emotions change, so they need a new flower.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, if
Okay.
you know they're working on a specific thing, you can actually click flower and then you can look up the flower.
Okay.
So let's say they're dealing with emotional exhaustion. So you can click
Okay.
on that little menu, and then
Okay.
all of the ones that fall under emotional exhaustion are there. Isn't that cool?
Okay. That is
So,
cool because I'm thinking of a particular friend of mine who I know is emotionally exhausted, and I would love to do that. Okay.
so you could either, when you hit the flower, you either scan or look it up.
Okay.
The other thing I want to show you real quick is if I go back to manage client groups and I no longer need that group, I could go into like this is my test group, right? That I was
Mhm.
my first test group. I'm just going to hit
Mhm.
delete and now they're gone.
Or you can easily add another person,
Or yes, so here if I'm in this
right?
group and I so you have 16 spots. And so let's say I want to add somebody else. Um, so then I could add Alyssa. I got all my A's.
Mhm.
Now when I go
Okay.
into multi-scan,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry, multicast, I will have to add the affirmation the first time and add her playlist the first time. But then, like you saw before, once they're done, they're done.
To that new person, you just have to add it. Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Yep. Oh, so, and it tells you, warning, you're attempting to leave the page while there are unsaved changes. So I forgot to save it. So here we go. And then it tells you, how awesome is that? So when I go into
That's
Scratch
really
again,
helpful.
multicast, and I pull that test group up again, you can see
I think you
everybody.
erased them.
No, test two.
Oh, okay.
So
All
see,
right.
Aaron's still here, Abel's still here, Alex is still here. Now Alyssa needs
Yep.
the affirmation, needs her playlist. And if I hit play up here, you see nothing happens because I haven't selected a flower.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Very helpful.
okie doke. Well, I'm going to hit stop and we're going to go on to the next thing. Thank you
All
for
right.
watching.